Hey everyone, this is Craig Ries with Hollywood Junket, and we are talking with Team Ariana's David Vogel today. I'm so excited to get to talk to you. He's gone through the audition process and the battles, and now we're finally getting to talk to him. David, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And congratulations, getting pretty far in the show now. It's great.
It's crazy, man. I can't believe it. Every day I'm like, wow, this is happening still. So I'm grateful.
It is happening for sure. This is so great. So first, let's go back to your initial blind audition. You chose an Ariana song. Were you afraid of the risk of picking a song by one of the coaches on the show?
For sure. I knew it was a huge risk, but I think I was willing to kind of take that like gamble, and I could have gone, one of two ways. She would have loved it or hated it, and I'm just glad that she actually turned at the end. So it paid off.
Yeah, I was getting a little scary there for a second.
you can imagine where my brain was. I was like, all right.
Well, I did that. Were there any other songs you were considering for your audition?
For sure. Yeah, we had like a little list of, potential songs and stuff, but I was fooling around with this more like punk pop version of Driver's License by Olivia Rodrigo, which would have been really fun and cool too. But at the end of the day, man, I think like, the things happen and they happen, and I'm glad with the choice, and I'm glad with the song, and yeah, but there were definitely some other cool ones that would have been fun as well.
Yeah. Well, I think Kevin auditioned with Driver's License, which we'll be talking about that in a second. So yeah, I mean, that may not have even been an option. And I will tell you, full honesty, there's always a handful of audition songs that I will listen on repeat a lot. And yours was one of them. Like, it really, really was a great version of Breathing, and yeah, just awesome. So
Thank you.
The right choice. Good job on that.
Thank you. I appreciate that a lot.
So let's talk about your battles with Kevin. How was that? Did you expect to go against him? And what were some moments from that you took away?
Yeah, man, Kevin's great. We had such a fun time working together. I mean, we got that song over like a Zoom call in our hotel rooms, and we were both just kind of like, what? We're singing Fall Out Boy. I was really happy because I grew up listening to that music. I grew up like playing drums to pop punk stuff, and so I was really happy with it. I knew the song very well and stuff, and so we got to rehearsing together right away, and we were both like, let's both play electric guitar, let's like just go all out in that like genre, right? So like obviously I did the nails, and like I wanted to like really just like hone into that kind of like that era of what it was, because it was a huge part of my like childhood and like musical journey. So yeah, it was so fun. He's a great guy. We got along super well, and I mean, I'm sure a lot of I could tell, like even on stage watching it back, like we just had fun. Like it wasn't like a battle. We were just singing together, man. And
yeah,
I think that's what kind of like made it, I think, even better. Like it was just a great time, and I'm very grateful to have made it past that round. But I'm supporting Kevin forever now. He's just a great guy.
That's awesome. You mentioned kind of Fall Out Boy and following that kind of music growing up. What other bands did you enjoy growing up? Who's some favorite bands?
Yeah, so kind of more in that lane, I guess, like Panic at the Disco. I like Taking Back Sunday, Brand New. Let's see. Yeah, there's tons. I like some My Chemical Romance, honestly. But like, yeah, that was a huge part. My dad was a huge rock and roll guy and showed me a lot of even more like classic rock. So like AC/DC, Led Zeppelin, The Cure. I grew up on a lot of like the 80s stuff too, which has made its way. But then alternatively, my mom was like a pop girl and listened to like Barbra Streisand and Carole King and the Carpenters and all these like amazing female vocalists so like both of those kind of just like intertwine into like kind of the musician I am and stuff.
You just listed a lot of great artists, so
yeah.
Mixing those two together will definitely help, I think. So yeah, that's awesome.
Cool.
Okay, so more on like the music production side, what have you learned anything from Ariana as far as that goes?
I wish we got him into more of that stuff.
Yeah.
Basically, it's pretty much like vocals for the most part. She's just
Mhm.
like, she's so on it, man. She's like helping all of us just kind of hone in on what we're doing, you know? And obviously working with Ed Sheeran also was crazy because he's another huge influence for me and an inspiration. So like having both of them in the same room was like crazy. But yeah, Ariana, she's a great vocal producer, like I've said in my interviews and stuff. And as a producer myself, like it's just really inspiring that she's doing that. But I would love to talk to her more about all that stuff.
Yeah. Right. There's still time. There's still time.
There's still time.
Well, you just did bring up Ed Sheeran. He is one of the mentors this year. And what did you take away the most from working with him?
So much. It honestly, like it happens so fast, and you kind of, even like performances, you kind of just like black out because it's so, you just don't think it's real. Like walking into
Yeah.
that room and seeing him like was actually surreal. Like, so you try and take it in. I think watching it back tonight it'll like bring it back a bit. But man, he was just kind of like, he was really encouraging that I do this next performance with just my acoustic guitar, like no band, nothing else. We had some like the keyboardist play some pads in rehearsal, and he actually was like, you shouldn't have them do that, just you play. And I was like, okay, whatever Ed Sheeran says I'll do, you know. Like I'm not gonna, and Ariana was like, yeah, that's totally. And I was like, he was very encouraging to like my arrangement, and he was like, I could tell you're a songwriter and you're comfortable like playing just guitar. And like we talked about we like nerded out over guitars and like tunings for like a minute, and it was really funny. But just to sing, you know, 10 feet from him was like just an honor. And yeah, that moment will forever be one of my favorite moments.
Oh my goodness, that is amazing. And I'm jealous. So awesome. And I can't stop. Okay, that was going to be one of my questions. You said tonight. I hope that wasn't a like, is your performance airing tonight?
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Okay,
Totally.
good. Awesome. Make sure we try to get this interview up before then and get some more people watching you and cheering you on, because
Awesome.
it's great to know.
Yeah.
Kind of a random question. So, all right, so you chose an Ariana song for your audition. Did she ever like have the opportunity to tell you like maybe any behind the scenes or like how that song came about, or any of her songs? Like what are, I guess, and all in all, like what are some cool things about Ariana that you learned working with her so far?
Yeah. During the second rehearsal for Sugar We're Going Down, we had a little more time like before filming to kind of talk. And I remember telling her, I was like, you really scared me there in that audition. She was like, I know, I'm sorry. And like we got to talk about like how it went down. And she was just like, she wanted to see what the other coaches were gonna do first before she turned. And basically like there's this thing where it's like a honorable thing. Like you don't want to turn for another coach's song. So like the others were waiting, and then she was like waiting, and then finally she hit it. But overall, like, yeah, we just kind of like chatted about just like the music and what we're doing here on the show. And just she was just giving us like an insane amount of support. And like she's just been insane. Like she sent me flowers, she sent us a note. Like she's just so just like encouraging and so real. And I think like that's been the biggest takeaway from this whole experience, is just how like actually human she is. Because
Yeah.
you kind of put someone like that on a pedestal and you're like, you're on top of the world. But at the end of the day, like she's like, she'll be like drinking coffee in her room and like DMs us or tags us in something. And it's like the same thing that we're doing, just in this weird like dichotomy where she's like obviously Ariana Grande. But
Right.
I think just like, yeah, she's a great human being at the end of the day. And it's really awesome to see that.
She has been such a great addition to this show. Like I was already a huge fan, and now I just love her to death. Like,
Yeah. Her banter,
so cool.
she's so funny. Her banter with Blake and like everyone else, they're so witty together. And I think it's kind of taken the show to like a new level, which is really great.
Yeah. I guess one more question for you, if you don't mind. We're talking about Ed earlier. Are there any songs of his that you would like to kind of remaster, kind of put a rock version to? or maybe that did happen and we'll see it tonight. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love Ed songs, and I think I put a couple on some lists over the time here. I really love Lego House. It's a great song. I love Tenerife Sea, super like emotional one. I think I put what was that other one? I'm blanking now. There was definitely a couple, and
Yeah.
his stuff is great. We have like he can definitely sing higher than me, but our ranges are a bit similar. So like a lot of his stuff could work. And obviously, like I've been playing his songs since I was 14 in my room, so I know a lot of them by heart, like guitar wise. So I would love to sing an Ed Sheeran song eventually on the show, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, he has a new album coming out, right? In just a couple weeks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't wait, honestly. The stuff so far has been different, but still Ed, and I think that's what's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Shivers is awesome, and Bad Habits is obviously like he tends to put out the first single to be very different and like mind blowing, and then he'll like rein it back to be like normal Ed, which is smart, honestly. He's such a good, like, he knows how to do it.
Bad Habits was my summer jam, at least. So
Yeah.
so
So good. So good.
Well, David, I really enjoyed this interview. Thank you so much. You gave us a lot of great information, and I really appreciate that. And yeah, I'm just so excited we get to watch you tonight. And if you keep going forward, which I think is a huge possibility, fingers crossed, we'll get to talk to you again. So I look forward to talking to you soon.
Thank you so much. It was great talking to you as well.
Awesome. Well, guys, again, this is Craig Ries with Hollywood Junket. We just wrapped up an interview with David Vogel, or Vogel. I'm sorry. I said it right the first time, but I knew it up.
You're good. You're
Vogel, and he is on Team Ariana. Check out his knockout rounds. And David, I hope to see you again in the lives. And thank you so much for joining us.
Of course. Thank you.
All right. Have a great day.
You too.